in all of Jackson County today because I'm surrounded by two of my very favorite guys. I'm happy and proud to welcome my dear friend and partner in business in a lot of ways, Michael Luedecking with Flagstar Bank. Welcome, Michael.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, nice to see
Appreciate
you.
it. Yeah, nice to see you guys too.
So you and I talk shop all day, every day.
We do.
And kind of rely on each other to keep each other on top of whatever is either new in the industry or maybe digging up some old programs that might benefit home buyers.
Yes.
And our buyers are struggling, especially our young ones or ones trying to re-enter the market, and maybe FHA is their best option and they're having a hard time competing.
Yes.
And you shared something with me last week and I thought, we got to tell the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are tons of loan programs out there, right? And every buyer has a different scenario. And as we enter this market, it's a different market right now. With the low inventory, what we're seeing is that we're getting these buyers who may be qualified conventional, but we're looking at these other products, these government-backed loans, one of them being FHA, which at times, as you know, sellers and listing agents sometimes have a hard time with FHA. And
Why is that?
And the reason being is FHA has stricter appraisal standards. So if you have a house that might have chipping and peeling paint, missing handrails, some health or safety hazards, sellers tend to shy away from FHA loans because they don't want to have to deal with some of that riffraff that comes with it. And we've seen that in history. We've had buyers, and I've had many clients that have shied away from particular houses because of appraisal issues, the quality of the home. This kind of bypasses all of that.
Okay.
So specifically, FHA 203K limited, it's kind of a mouthful.
203K limited, okay.
203K limited. This 203K number means it's a renovation loan.
Okay.
And the limited aspect means you get to avoid a lot of the regulatory requirements that a regular 203K offers, such as 203K consultants. So typically when you go and you do a large renovation product, you have to bring in an individual to kind of manage that entire loan process from the project point of view. This you don't have to. Super simple. It takes no extra really legwork for the borrower other than getting a quote from a contractor.
Okay.
And that's about it.
And people are looking at obviously the market has changed, and you know the more house for the price, people are wanting to put some money into these houses, right? Because obviously the prices are going up, so you need to put some work in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, the other thing too is that we have all these home shows out there, right? You have your HGTV buyers who want to go out and make their house pretty, which who doesn't, right? We all have projects. This is a great way for a first-time home buyer who might not have a lot of cash available to go in and make their house theirs right away.
So let's use an example so our viewers understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
Adorable house, great bones, but maybe it does have some peeling and chipping paint. Maybe there's some broken window panes, and maybe it's just not as pretty. It's time to bring it back to life.
Yes.
So I call you. I qualify for the FHA. Give it to me. I get 203K limited loan. It's a $100,000 house. We get quotes for the things that need to be done. I have a limit to how high I can go, right?
Correct.
So how high is that limit?
$35,000 is what the limit allows you to do in a 203K limited. I consult all my buyers to stay around 30 grand.
Okay.
Right? You always know there's going to be overages.
Yeah.
So when you're lining those things up, how does that work with the contractor? Do you have to pick a contractor ahead of time?
Yes.
Or
Yeah, good question. So we as a lender don't require who the contractor. We don't dictate the contractor.
You don't pick the contractor.
Right. You're
Perfect.
buying a house, Andy. You call your contractor. We just need to make sure they've been in business for 3 years.
Sure.
And that's it.
And then we get it appraised. It has to appraise for the full amount, taking into consideration the repairs that are going to be done, right?
Correct.
All right, so then that money sits there and is available for the buyer to pay their contractors as things are completed, or how does that work?
Another great question. So we actually hold the funds in an escrow account.
Okay.
And so that contractor at the time of closing would get 50% of the cost. So if it's a $30,000 job, they get $15,000 right at the time of closing. And then they get the additional 15 at the time the project's completed.
It's awesome, and I know all of us at this table have done renovations, and to be able to roll that into that home purchase price, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, it should help the sellers to be more comfortable with an FHA loan because no longer are those things going to be obstacles when it comes to the appraisal point.
Absolutely. So there used to be this seller worry, right? I'm taking on an FHA buyer. What is that going to mean for the appraisal process and getting this loan closed? That negates all those worries altogether. Okay. So as sellers are now putting their houses on the market, they need to make sure that they're taking into consideration FHA buyers, because that's a whole market of buyers who they may have been ignoring that are now at their their front doors wanting to put offers in on their houses.
So you always do a great job, both in your pre-approval letter, but also making yourself available to talk even to the listing agent.
Correct.
You work with the buyer, but you reach out to them and let them know, hey, these are their strengths. This is where we're
Absolutely.
going. I wanted you to be here today to tell everybody about the loan and about those options out there. So if they've been hesitant, or maybe they've gotten beaten up, they've put in multiple offers this year, over the last year, and not had any luck. I think it's time for them to touch base with you, find out more about this program, and re-enter the market.
Yeah, and so this program and many others, right? This is just one program that there's hundreds of programs out there. Particularly, right, when we get into a real estate transaction, there are multiple parties.
Sure.
The goal for every single individual is the same across the board.
Sure.
And we need to make sure that that's known. So again, calling the listing agent, being super communicative on what the process is and where we're going with it to make sure everything is on track.
And all those programs available right here in Jackson.
Right
which is
in
great.
Jackson,
Before we let you go, I know you two are partnering on the Irish Hills Lake and Home Tour this weekend. Tell us when, where, and how.
Yeah, so June 24th, we are going to be at Clark Lake, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Woo!
It's a great day. I mean, Jen, we've been doing this probably now for 4 or 5 years together as partners.
Yep.
We take boat rides with all the guests. We have live music, food. It's a wonderful day.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And I think we both have a few complimentary wristbands still available.
I have a couple.
So if there are viewers that are interested, either get a hold of us or the Irish Hills Chamber has them for sale for $25.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Michael.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
you.
We'll see you at the Irish Hills Lake and Home Tour. And for interested buyers, give Michael a call. More of the morning show right after this.